isolation transformer installation complete, plus a look at a couple of new radios. Good evening, YouTube. Here with you once again on Tuesday evening. It is a little after 9 o'clock now in the evening. Excuse me. I do have the scope back in its a little cubby hole, and I think that looks pretty good. Not going to complain too much about that. Wouldn't do no good anyway. I would like to have that cord there running underneath instead of over the top, but I got to figure out where it's plugged into and see if I can get plugged back in there. Other than that, it's no problem, but I have to do that from the other side, I do believe. So we'll have to get on that. The rest of the evening I think I'm going to spend in here is cleaning this up. You know, in the process of doing all that moving around and hooking up the isolation transformer and all that stuff, I did make a big bit of a mess. So I want to get that cleaned up, and we'll continue then with the work on the AM Superhead receiver. I think it's time to get back on that and get it finished up wiring. I do have the new capacitors go in there now. The 0.15 microfarad caps. Here's that filter from the radio. Anyway, I do have those to put in, and we'll get those put in and finish up on the rest of it. Here, I don't know if I'll do it today or not, whenever I decide to do it. I really need, I spend a lot of time moving stuff like this around. You know, and these things up here, I've got a good shelf full, if you know what I mean, that I can put in there, and it will give me plenty, or not plenty, but a lot more room here on the bench, because I just spend my time moving them around from one place to the other. So, let's see if you can see that. Anyway, that's one of the things I want to do, is build that shelf. Cardboard, Bill, that's the way to go. Yes, that's what I'm going to use, cardboard. I just have to find the perfect spot for it. I got a couple of ideas, but like I said, that's kind of what I want to build next, and after I get done working on some of this. But I do want to clean this bench up because it's just a big mess. So let me get busy doing that instead of sitting here yakking. You hear me yak enough as it is, so we'll be back in a bit. I'm back with you again now. It's about 9:45 in the evening. Wanted to point out that I did get these relabeled. You see the top says line isolated outputs, and that's true of both of these. Top one says variable 0 to 150 volt AC, and the bottom says constant 125 volt AC. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory what that is, and I'm happy with the way that looks. And so I'll go from there. I might put one here that says variac output or something like that, just to let everybody know that it's the variable that's got the display there, because the bottom one says 125 volt AC. Now I've thought about this. It's going to be handy for me to use the top one first to get an idea of what kind of amperage the device under test draws, and that way I'll know if it's safe to plug into the bottom. I should put maybe a 1.3 amps max or something on that as well. I might do that. So like I said, that might be the way to go. You know, the thing to do be put that label right across here so you can't even see that third prong, because there's not going to be an occasion really to use that for the radios that I work on. So I don't know, we'll see. But it's just I just want to let you know that it has been relabeled, and I tried to resize the font on that. Our first one was like 8 point. I think that's maybe just a little bit too small. I think this was a 12 point. What I end up using. So I think it looks pretty good. Not bad. So next thing to do is clean this bench off, and I don't even know that I'll get it done tonight. I may go ahead and call it an evening and go on the computer and look for some other stuff. Got more work done on the PTR project. I made up a spreadsheet. I downloaded LibreOffice and used the spreadsheet in that to come up with a spreadsheet for the cost of the parts, so we can find out what we're going to charge for this thing. The obvious, some of the things that are more expensive than the other things, I think among the most expensive are the speaker, the chip, and the transistor. Mainly because the chip and the transistor are obsolete. They're harder to find. And like I said, the speakers are just, this out of China. They're going to cost us, I think 71 cents a piece is what I figured, and that's just for the cheap ones. So, like I said, I do want to try my little idea about the mesh, using the mesh to hold it down. Bob and I are tweaking the final version of the circuit board, and once that's designed, we can get a couple more prototypes out. And one of the things I wanted to do was to put a jack on the circuit board itself for the power. I think Bob got the wrong idea on that. I was going to maybe provide the battery thing like he did with me. He gave me a battery clip that would fit into that power connector, and you could use a 9-volt battery with it. And I think that was what I was thinking to use, is those, and let people, decide whether they want to power it with a battery or get an AC adapter for it. That's the way I would do it. Again, like I said, that's what I was trying to do, and I think he said it may work out that he can fit it in there, so he's going to try anyway. So I'm going to take a closer look at the board this evening and see if I can maybe offer some suggestions on closing the gap between some components and stuff like that. He did, I think, increase the trace size on the board. It is rather thin. I don't know if you can even see it on here or not, but this is not a close-up camera, but you can see those traces are really pretty small. And I think he widened those a little bit, and so that's going to be handy. But right now, this board in particular, this has got a lot of room for improvement as far as the spacing and stuff like that. Now, I think the spacing for this is going to be a little tight, and I think he's went to this spacing here for both of these, and I think this one's going to be the wider of the other ones. This is one of the other ones too, but those will be a little bit hard to solder, but not impossible. You kind of have to look at it and just use the he wants me to populate one of these to see how well I can do the soldering. And I need to do that before we order the final revision, because, obviously, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. So, and like I said, there's a couple other things, but that's the main things I got to do. So, all right, let me get off here. I may rejoin you in the morning if I find that this is lacking in sufficient quantity. So we will catch you then. I'll bring you. Good afternoon, YouTube, on a Wednesday. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What you see before you are a couple of examples of radios. I'm going to look at each one closer. Let me get you back as far as I can to get you a better picture of both of them. That's about as far back as I can go with this camera on the boom. Like I say, I'll get in closer for a look at each one, but I got these, I got a, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I got a gift card for Father's Day for eBay. And thanks to that gift card, I was able to purchase a couple of radios. First one we look at here is a Panasonic, and this is a, I think 70s model, I believe is what it was listed as. Of course, they're solid state. You know me, I like the transistor stuff. Tone switch. Now, one of these was listed as not working. I believe it was this one here. Was not working, period. Now I don't know about the other one, but anyway, that's what this one is. So I think I might know what this one, the problem with this one is. These are basically portable sets with a transformer for the power supply and built into a larger cabinet. So I think probably the transformer has given up on it, the little power transformer. So that's my thought on it. That's whether it is true or not, I don't know, because obviously I haven't done anything to it but sit up here on the bench. So that's that one. Let me go look at the other one now. Now this one is a little bigger radio, and it is a clock radio. Now, I don't usually do clock radios, but this one kind of struck me as something kind of interesting, and actually I thought when I looked at this on the eBay ad that this was a smaller radio. I didn't know it was going to be this big. It's actually a pretty good size radio. Now I can't remember what the ad said about this, but it is AM and FM. If you can see, when I move the tuning, it goes on the AM and the FM dial. They simultaneously move, and that's those. So this is being a clock radio. The controls are over here for the radio itself. I believe that is on and that is off. So we'll have to check it out. Now I believe the clock movement on this is good. I think, pretty sure. It's obviously got some dirt inside there. I'll have to clean that out. It does have a crack in it. That was noted in the ad. And there's a little bit of a wear here on the grill cloth up there on the corner. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but I'll put you up there. And there's the crack. Look at the crack too. It's right there. So anyway, like I said, these are, I forget what I paid for them now, but I was able to get these two radios and a bunch of parts for my gift certificate, or gift card, and I'm very, 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 very happy with that. So what I thought we'd do, now we know, like I said, the Panasonic does not work, so I think what we'll do is plug in the Arvin, couldn't think of the name of it, sitting right there, and see what it does. So stay tuned for that. Alright, well, here we go. We are looking at the Arvin as promised. It is plugged in now and it is turned on. That's off. Wake to music and music and alarm. Now the alarm works, obviously. So back to off, and there's on. Now you can see there's no volume. I'm going to turn it up all the way. Let's try AM. Nothing there either. So I'll go ahead and move the nothing there either. So obviously we have a problem with them. Now I noticed that the clock is not working either. So it's possible the the cord may be bad, and we just may have that problem. So that's what we're gonna look at on it when we get time. And just a quick look at these. I'm not gonna take them apart or anything like that. So let's put the Panasonic up and see what it does and doesn't do. So bring you right back. Alright, well, it is plugged in. I did notice a bad spot on the cord, but it doesn't appear to be bad enough to where it would keep it from working. So turn it on, and that surprised me because the first time I turned that on it didn't work. So obviously we have a bad power switch or power I'm guessing.
Okay, but our salaries are $134,000 a year.
All right, that's AM, and that is working.
We're cash flowing 2 kiddos in daycare right now, so sure you can imagine. But we have a vehicle.
Well, apparently it works.
People who come here with the dignity and kindness that marks the United States of America.
Alice, Warren is leading in the polls among the candidates that she will share the stage with tonight. What are you looking for in tonight's debate? And
the payment, so that way we could take the difference and put it towards.
Rain never falls and the sun never shines. Well, it's dark as a dungeon.
Yeah, that's our local station. So anyway, it seems to be working. At the worst, I'd say it's probably this volume control or switch.
I hope when I'm gone,
tone switch seems to be working.
My body will blacken and turn cold.
So I think the majority of the problem is right here. Everything else seems to be working on this.
$1,000, $2,000, minutes like $5,000 and $9,000.
So actually, it's funny. The one I thought was going to be working didn't work, and the one that I didn't think would work is working. That seems to be the case a lot on the stuff that you buy on eBay. Their description does always leave something to be desired. So anywho, that's going to do this one. I originally was coming back to show you my cleaned up bench. That didn't happen. I got busy doing some other stuff, so that's where we'll have to stay for now, just like this. And we'll go ahead and post this up so you'll have something to look at. So we'll come back again sometime in the future and work on these. But for now, let's look at both of them. So have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and we will see ya.